Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards that are going to make you pay with your creatures. That's right, we're going to give away our firstborn child. Okay, we're going to start off with Ultra Bone. It's a green-white sorcery. You have to sack a creature, and then you get to look through your library for a creature card and put that card into your hand. After showing it to all the players, reshuffle your library afterwards. This is like... Isn't this Eldrami's charm or Eldrami's charm? Some sort of charm or wish card of some sort, except I actually have to blow up a creature. But if you're looking for a second, third, fourth, fifth copy of a tutor like that, sometimes you have to look at Ultra Bone. Sacrifice that elf. Go get that elvish champion. Upgrade your creatures today. All right, next up, let's look at... Oh, Toilet Duck's going heavy with the birthing pod. Very heavy sacrifice. All right, we got Phyrexian 3 generic for an artifact that also pays for 1 and a Phyrexian, which just pays with 2 life. Tap, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sack creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Can you just combo off with this in EDH? I know there's like tons of combos in just regular Magic the Gathering, or like, are they going to interact with this somehow? Or maybe there's... I think you could just combo off with this if no one opposes you. And if you have enough life and you have enough mana. Well, it has... I'm looking at the price of this thing. It's pretty high. Be careful. This card sacrifices a lot of creatures, but they usually come back. Alpha Nerd with Fling. Yeah, this is a good meme card. Where's the actual Fling? This is a good meme card. We got a red 1 generic. Instant. As initial cost to cast this spell, you sacrifice a creature, and you're throwing it directly at somebody's face. It deals it deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. What about Phyrexian Altar? Absolutely Phyrexian Altar. Anything that makes you sack a creature is all good by me. You got 3 mana artifact. Sack a creature, you add 1 mana in your mana pool. Get them mana. Let's keep it simple, Fling. You all want Fling. I have a feeling this is going to be a show where people are going to be suggesting Fling for forever. I'm just going to say hi to the future people who are going to be like, did we say Fling yet? Did we do Fling? Has Fling been done? Hi, I'm new here, Fling. Okay, Toads with the Witch's Oven. Where is the witches? Maybe it's not a pot. Oh, it's not over. It's oven. We got a 1 mana artifact. Tap, sack a creature. Create a food token, which will give you 3 life if you sacrifice it. And if the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, you create 2 food tokens instead. So if there's a little beef on that butt, there's gonna be more butt to eat. That's how Witch's Oven works around here. Mordrak with Hell's Caretaker. For all the people that like to sack their creatures. We got 4 mana 1/1. It's not very big for a 4 mana creature. It's a horror. Sack a creature. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activates the ability only during your upkeep. Oh, it's the Elvish Piper of the graveyard. Instead of putting like a card from hand directly into play, it's something from the graveyard into play. So it's like Elvish Piper with extra steps. I mean, yeah. So instead of like putting it from your hand onto the battlefield, you gotta take it from your hand to the graveyard, then bring it back from the battlefield. But it's probably more satisfying that way. It's probably more, and you have to sack a creature. This is strictly worse Elvish Piper. This is terrible. We did do Fling, Steve Cooper. Okay, Dem with Calling the Weak. We got a black Manosaur. Sack a creature to add 4 mana to your mana pool. That's a lot of mana. It's got to be a staple somewhere. I don't know what you're sacrificing. I don't know, a 2/2 black zombie or something. Chen Fred with Black Carriage. It is a 5 mana 4/4. It's got Trample. It does not untap during your untap step. That sounds quite depressing. But it's got the ability. Pay 0. Sacrifice a creature to untap the Black Carriage. Use this ability only during your upkeep. So at upkeep trigger, would you like to sack a creature to untap your Black Carriage? It's a 4/4 trampler. You beware of it. Does ninjutsu count? If you don't sack creatures with ninjutsu. I mean, if the ninjutsu ability makes you sack a creature, I don't think, can you, do any ninjutsu abilities make you like pay mana sack a creature? Bring a creature back to your hand doesn't count. That much I will say. Turiat with Tavesh. The Shat Doom of Fools. Oh no! This guy. Isn't this evil? So it's a 5 mana, 4 loyalty planeswalker. +2, create 2/0/1 black troll creature tokens. But it's got +1, you may sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do, you draw 2 cards. And then draw another card if the sacrifice permanent was a commander. And it combos really well with what I think there's a Zero Mandor Cobalt commander. That card is just ridiculous. I think the combo is just busted. When I play one-on-one on Magic Online in Commander, like half the metagame is Tavesh Shat. Well, it can shat away. Anyway, it's got also -10, gain control of all commanders, put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under your control. Can be your commander, and it has partner. Probably the partner part is what makes it broken. Probably could deal with everything else. The fact it can partner with that stupid Cobalt! Cobalt! Balder, good morning. Shadowrite Priest. You would know, wouldn't you? You would know all the cards that sack other cards. Okay, we got a 2 mana 2/2 human cleric. Other clerics you control get +1/+1. And for an entire 5 mana and tapping it, you sack another cleric, search your library for a black creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shelf your library. Now I'll admit, this actually is insane. It's a 2 mana lord that lets you tutor for another creature and just put it onto the battlefield. I mean, you do have to sack something, but you have to just upgrade it. If you're like passing the turn in a board stall, this thing breaks that board stall. Yeah, let's just put any black creature card. You can get, well, you can't get Grizzlebrand in Commander. You can get something like Grizzlebrand. Can you get Atraxa? Search your library. Yeah, you can get Atraxa. Atraxa's black. Search your library for a black creature card. That's it. That's it. I think this card's a banger. Shadowborn Apostle. Yeah, Shadowborn Apostle. It's a black 1/1 human cleric. A deck can have any number of Shadowborn Apostle. Sometimes they have 56 in their deck. Okay, pay a black. Sack 6 creatures named Shadowborn Apostle to search your library for a demon creature card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle it. Basically, okay, you were born to die for your idol. Okay, next super chat we got from Cunning Linguist, Angel of Jubilation, Angel of Jub. It's a 4 mana 3/3 angel flying. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1. Players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures or cast spells with activated abilities. This doesn't sacrifice anything at all. This is completely the opposite of this show. Cunning Linguist. This is the opposite. Yeah, it has the word sacrifice actually in the name, but it doesn't actually sacrifice anything. So we will donate this. We'll donate to Michael with the Goblin Grenade. Goblin players, huge fascination with the Goblin Grenade. It's a red sorcery and has additional cost to cast Goblin Grenade. Sack a Goblin. Goblin Grenade deals 5 damage to target creature or player. That idea of just hitting them hard, giving their jaw reconstructive surgery, basically, I don't know, hitting them in the gut and like, I don't know, a bunch of poop comes out. That's what they play Goblin Grenade for. And one-on-one, I mean, that's like a quarter of your life. I mean, it's a huge adrenaline rush to attack them with all the goblins. What's your life at? Is it 5? Well, I've got the Goblin Grenade. Exactly what it's all about. Evolutionary Leap. Oh yeah, this card. It's a green 1 generic enchantment. You pay a green to sack a creature. Reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand, then rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. The way to really break this card is you have a bunch of cards that just make tokens, and then you sack the tokens and you basically dig for like exactly what you want, or just mainly super powerful cards. I mean, I guess you could just spin, you could just roll the dice on this card. Sack a creature. Ooh, what are we gonna get today? I mean, you could also play with, like, undying, yeah, undying creatures, persist creatures, so they don't actually go away, and you just add more to the board. That's totally fine. Completely reasonable. Next up, we have Alpha Nerd with, name the best card, Last Ditch Effort. Sacrifice all creatures or something? Okay, we have a red instant. Sacrifice X creatures, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Last Ditch Effort deals X damage to a target creature or player. I don't think that's a bad goblin card either. You know, you got like 6, 7, 8 goblins on the battlefield. This might be better than Goblin Grenade. You just... Is your life total at 8? We'll have 8 goblins on the battlefield. You may not have heard of this card, but it's called the Last Ditch Effort. And it works. Okay, we got Tommy Siddons with Cataclysmic. I feel like you're just trying so hard to get this card. Is this the card I'm thinking? Yeah, it is the card I'm thinking of. Does it make people sack? So, but it makes them sack, right? It's a white, 3 generic, 4/5 vigilance construct. Enters the battlefield. Each player chooses an artifact or creature, enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land perms they control, then sacrifices the rest. You know what? It's not a cost. There's no cost to this card. Like, that's the effect, but you don't pay for that. It's like, I'm not paying losing my creatures to make you lose your creatures or anything like that. So I can't count that one. I can't count it. But what I can count is Arcanus's Westvale Abbey. Now this is a card, a land that adds mana, or pay 5. Pay 5 mana for a lonely 1/1 creature. You also have to pay 1 life for that 1/1 creature. But then the idea is you pay 5, tap, sack 5 creatures, hopefully all the 1/1s that you created, to come out with Ormondale Profane Prince, a 9/7 flying lifelink indestructible haste creature. I have no idea if it wins games, though. Emperor! Phyrexian Dreadnought. Phyrexian Dread... 1 mana! It looks like 1 mana. It's really a 12/12. Trample. When Phyrexian Dreadnought comes into play, you must sacrifice any number of creatures with total power of 12 or more, and if you don't, you have to bury your own Phyrexian Dreadnought. What is the idea behind this? It's like it enters the battlefield, but it needs to eat the souls of the living to survive. Would Convoke work, or is this stream specific? It's about sacking creatures. You don't sacrifice anything when you Convoke. That's the whole thing with Convoke. You get to keep the creatures. Use the creatures like mana. Okay, next up. Way Down. Way Down is for 1 black sorcery as an additional cost to cast the spell. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. No. Not the same. Come on, you weren't using that creature anyway. Nobody needed that thing. The sacrifice permanence count. Nope. Gotta be creature. Don't worry, one day we'll have permanence. Today is creature. One day we'll have lands. See, this one works. The Siege Gang Commander. Too bad it's not legendary, so you can have like a commander, huh? You got it? You guys hear what I'm saying here? 5 mana for a 2/2 goblin. When Siege Gang Commander enters the battlefield, create 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Then you pay 2 mana. Sack a goblin. Siege Gang Commander deals 2 damage to any target. Ready? Fire! That's why they need to make big families in the goblin world. Big family. Big family mean big ammunition. And then Baldur. Priest of Forgotten Gods. But obviously one person didn't forget Priest of Forgotten. There's one person who didn't forget Priest of Forgotten Gods, and that was Baldur. 2 mana for a 1/2 human cleric. Pay 1. Sack. You actually have to sack 2 creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life and sacrifice a creature. And you get double black and you draw a card. I just realized this doesn't target. So it's like, okay, I choose you, you, and you, but I could also just choose you. You lose 2 life and sack a creature. So it's an interesting multiplayer card. But the main, it's a bit of a cost, but you also get quite a bit of a payoff. How about Vein Ripper's Ward? But they're not, that's like a consequence to the opponent, not you. It will make you pay with your creatures. You. Not them. Only you can prevent forest fires. The correct answer is you. You said you, referring to them. The correct answer is actually you. Okay, Evan, Shivan Harvest. Oh! 2 mana enchantment. Pay 2, sacrifice a creature, destroy target non-basic land. That's wild. You have enough creatures in play, enough mana, you can blow up someone's entire mana base. Okay, Dam's trying so hard to get this Viscera Seer on here. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Viscera? I think it's Viscera. Black 1/1, Vampire Wizard. It is a wizard! For the blue-black wizard decks out there. Sack a creature, scry 1. It's a free sack outlet, alright? It's free. It's a bit underwhelming for the cost, but what? It's free. Okay, Cunning Linguist looking for revenge. The minion of Leshrac. This is a 7 mana 5/5. Got protection from itself, has protection from black. At the beginning of your upkeep, minion of Leshrac deals 5 damage to you unless you sacrifice a creature other than minion of Leshrac. Okay, I will count that. And then if minion of Leshrac deals damage to you this way, tap it. Oh no! Tap, destroy target creature or land. That's insane. But it is 7 mana. You gotta feed it creatures. It's hungry. The minion is hungry for creatures. I want to eat. It's been kept in a cage for too long. Viscera. Viscera. So I'm doing it right? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I'm doing it right. Teamer. With an Altar's Reap? Altar's Reap is a 2 mana instant. As additional cost to cast Altar's Reap, you sack a creature, and you draw 2 cards. We love drawing cards in Magic the Gathering. Minkoa! Recurring Nightmare. Recurring Nightmare is a 3 mana enchantment. You also must sack a creature. Return Recurring Nightmare to its owner's hand. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. They call it reoccurring because you could bring it back. Then you can sack the creature you just put in play back into the graveyard. Get something else. Okay, next up. Let's go with Steve Cooper's Brian Stout Arm flings anything. I don't think... What, is that... You're talking about an actual card here? You're right! There's an actual card. Alright, I thought you were memeing around here. We have a 4 mana 4/4 Giant Warrior that's flinging something. It's got lifelink. Pay a red. Tap. Sack another creature. Brian Stout Arm deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature to target... equal to the sacrifice creature's power to target player. It work. It fling. That could be a show. Does it fling or not fling? Okay, we got Emperor. Yokura, the prisoner. Yokura the Prisoner is a 4 mana 5/5 demon spirit. When Yokura leaves play, sacrifice all non-ogre creatures you control. When it leaves play, you have to sacrifice all your non-ogre creatures. You know what? Can't count it. I don't feel like if it's your only creature, I don't think you're going to pay with anything. Can't count. We're going to donate. We'll donate to Nathan with the Goblin Assassin. It's funny how many goblin cards there is in the show today. The goblins, they love sacrificing creatures, including themselves. The 5 mana 2/2. And when Goblin Assassin or another goblin comes into play, each player flips a coin. Each player whose coin comes up tails sacrifices a creature. We're gambling. Yeah. We gotta flip that coin. Maybe it flips the way we want, maybe it doesn't. Okay, now does this count? So when it enters the battlefield, I bet it's like, it's Schrodinger's goblin. Maybe it's alive, maybe it's dead. And only the coin will decide. I'm gonna count it. Sure, why not? You might have to sacrifice it. You have to risk sacrificing this thing for it to stay alive. Nathan with the Goblin Bombardment. We got Goblin Bombardment, 2 mana enchantment. Sack a creature to deal 1 damage to any target. You will sack. Also a good finisher. I can tell some of you have, like, tons of sacrifice cards. Braid's Cabal Minion. Do I count this? It's a 4-mana 2/2. And at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks an artifact, creature, or land. Do I count Braid's Cabal Minion? Does not actually have to sack anything for either casting it or playing its ability. I say no. No, I wouldn't say Braids. You don't pay with sacrificing your creatures. Also, you may not even, well, you'll have at least Braids in play. But if you pay with Braids, then you don't have a creature anymore. Yeah, no choice either. Okay, we got Toilet Ducks, Vivian of the Hunt. Vivian! Oh, Vivian on the hunt. She's on the hunt. Vivian, Viv, V-N. Is the A-N? Oops, I didn't. Okay, we got there. We got there. 6 mana, 4 loyalty, Vivian, +2. You can sack a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's mana value put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. You also go +1, mill 5 cards, then put any number of creature cards milled this way into your hand. Also go -1. Great, a 4/4 green rhino warrior creature token. It's all good. You have to sacrifice for its tutor ability. Next, we got Emperor. Emperor loves sacrificing creatures, apparently. Jinxed Ring. Jinxed Ring is a 2-mana artifact. Whenever any card is put into your graveyard from play, Jinxed Ring deals a single damage to you. Sacrifice a creature, target opponent gains control of Jinxed Ring permanently? So, oh, interesting. So you sacrifice a creature, you donate the ring to them, but it says permanently. How does that work? Okay, I need to see the, forget the ancient text. Whenever a non-token permanent is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to you. Sack a creature, target opponent gains control of Jinxed Ring. Oh, but they can give it to somebody else. So I was wondering, hold on, this effect lasts indefinitely? Oh, so they can't give it to somebody else. It's permanent. They should just say, give it to somebody else, and then the card loses this ability, so they can't, like, use it again. So they have to blink the Jinxed Ring to get rid of it. Or destroy it, I guess. It's not indestructible. It's not like this ring is indestructible. It's just jinxed, that's all. Sadie Bell asks, does Champion count? Is there an actual card called just Champion? If so, Changeling Hero? There's like a lot of Champion cards. I don't know if there's strictly one card called Champion. Okay, I'm gonna look up Changeling Hero. Is it the Hero of the Changelings? Hero of the Changelings! We got a 4/4 Changeling that champions a creature. Uh-huh. Oh, I see what you mean. You mean champion. Yeah, when it comes into play, you have to sack unless you remove another creature you control from the game. But you don't sack. You have to exile. So for that, no, it doesn't count. Although you would have to sacrifice this creature if there was nothing else to go get. No, they can give it to somebody else. It just makes everyone sack creatures to pass it with the last. But it says they get it permanently. And it also, okay, hold on. Do we have to read like the oracle text to this card? Oh, there is nothing. It says this effect lasts indefinitely. Like, of course it would. Like, if I give someone control of my card, they just control it. I don't know why they have to put this wording on it. Just not until end of turn. Well, it would have said until end of turn otherwise. Indefinitely just means it doesn't end at end of turn. Okay, I'm gonna have to trust you guys. It's so weird for them to add this text over here. Weird to me, at least. Okay, next up. Alpha Nerds. Torgar, Famine Incarnate. Good old Torgar. Oh, that was not Torgar. That's Torgar. Torgar is an 8 mana. It's a 7/6 avatar. And as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. That's right. More blood for the blood god. When Torgar Famine Incarnate enters the battlefield, up to one target player's life total becomes half their starting life total rounded down. What a way of speeding up this game. Oh, you're at 40? Oh, you have all the... What if they have infinite life? Can you have half of infinite life? Infinite divided by 2? Infinite divided by 2. Infinite in the numerator, 2 in the denominator. Okay, what do we have? I think I did Altar of Bone. Maybe, or did I do Altar of Bone? That was my card! Yeah, it was my card. Christopher B. Eradicator Valkyrie. Okay, we have an Eradicator Valkyrie for 4 mana. It's a 4/3 Angel Berserker. That's got Boast. Pay a black 1 generic. Sacrifice a creature. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. We gotta clear the way. Because this angel apparently can't fly anymore. These wings don't work anymore. The wings are clipped. Stay on the ground. She votes for Sprout. She votes for Sprout. Baldur with Altar of Dementia. And if I remember correctly, it's AR. This card has been mentioned so many times on this show. And we all unanimously think it's ALTER. Sack a creature, target player puts a number of cards from the top of, equal to the sacrifice creature's power from the top of their library into the graveyard. The creature's 5 power, you mill 5 cards. Nikachu, the original sack outlet, Lord of the Pit. Was it the first? Wouldn't be the last. It's a 7 mana 7/7. Sounds lucky. Do you feel lucky, punk? It's got flying and trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature other than Lord of the Pit, and if you can't, Lord of the Pit will deal entire 7 damage to you. Well, that's not part of the deal at all. Do you have to? It's not part of a cost of anything. That will make you pay with your... Yeah, I guess I'm gonna keep it because, like, if you have any creatures out, you have to pay with those creatures. And then I guess you take 7 damage. It's like, it's close, though. My summoning begins your debt. Planeswalker. Skywalker, Planeswalker. When are we gonna have Secret Lair Star Wars? We're gonna be using the Force like Darth Vader. Okay, Dracoplasm, maximize your fling, says Alpha Nerd. Dracoplasm is a red-blue 0/0 shapeshifter with flying. As Dracoplasm enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of creatures. Dracoplasm's power becomes the total power of those creatures, and its toughness becomes their toughness. Wow, that's a lot of creatures. For what? That's a big sacrifice to make this one creature particularly big. Okay, and pay a red. As fire breathing? What a weird card. Like, how do you even use this? Yeah, I built up this entire board, and now I'm just gonna throw it into this one Dracoplasm. Yeah, it qualifies, but holy crap, I think this is like... I think this is the opposite of what you want to do with your board. I think this is a very, very sad card. Okay, we're gonna look at more cards that make you pay with your creatures. Pay with your firstborn child. But we gotta thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. The first place I go to buy all my Magic the Gathering cards. What do we got the deal? What is the deal of the week this week? Save 15% off all Kamigawa set singles. What I love about Fusion Gaming Online is they have a deal of the week every single week. You always gotta check in because you never know when it's gonna line up with what you need to buy. You need some Oboro Palace of the Clouds for that mill deck. Do you need a Goro's Vengeance for an Esper Reanimator deck in mind? You need Wandering Emperor for your Pioneer Blue-White Control deck. They've got you covered with a discount of 15% at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout because it supports the channel, but also in your interests, as it is mine, you get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. To play, you play the latest, hottest, next deck on the block. You know what's really interesting? You can play Commander online. Maybe there's this really jank idea you want to buy, but you're not sure if it's even going to work at all. So why invest like $1,000 into this thing when you can rent it online for a monthly fee and then find out if you buy it in paper? And if it works, great. Bam! That's great. You buy it in paper. You can support the channel with my Mana Traders link in the description below. Save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_ZUE. I'm very curious if anyone, like, rents cards to, I know a lot of people rent cards for Modern. Modern, Pioneer, Legacy. Curious if anyone rents for Commander. Have I converted any people? It's a frustrating client to start playing, but, like, yeah, you'll get used to it. Then it's better than nothing, because you can't play Commander on MTG Arena. Next up, did we do Birthing Pod? We absolutely did Birthing Pod. Blasting Station. That's a card. You need a sack outlet that's cost 3 mana? Well, we got Blasting Station, because when you sack a creature, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. But whenever a creature comes into play, you may untap the Blasting Station, because it's ready. The Blasting Station was born ready. Oh, a new creature? Okay, come feed us. Come feed us your soul. We take any and all creatures here at the Blasting Station. Okay, Robert with a huge super chat. We got Thromek the Insatiable. Thromek. Insatiable? What is that supposed to mean in the context of a 5 mana 0/0 Helion? Devour X, where X is the number of creatures devoured this way. As it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. See, that's like championing, like fairies, but it's sacrifice. So Devour is the sacrifice version of champion. This creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it for each of those creatures. This is like that other card. This is like Dracoplasm, just more expensive. Oh, well, some people want to make a gigantic Thromok. Doesn't have trample or anything. But it does count. Make no mistake, it counts. Eric Noons, does Dockside Chef count? Dockside Chef. We've got a black 1/2 human citizen, pay 2, sack an artifact or creature, draw a count. Absolutely. You sacrifice creatures for their abilities. 100% it counts. And you can sack artifacts. I don't need this artifact anymore. Turn this junk into treasure. Or in this case, somehow turn garbage into food. Or are we like rummaging into the garbage to eat our noodles? Oh, someone just threw this whole plate of noodles in the garbage. Okay, Emperor. Thank you very much, Emperor. Pox for redemption for Yokura. Okay, Pox. Actual Pox? The Pox of all Poxes. 3 mana, sorcery. Each player loses 1/3 of their life, then discards a 1/3 of their cards in their hand, then sacks 1/3 of their creatures they control, and then sacks 1/3 of their lands they control, rounded up each time. But you don't have to sack creatures. You don't have to sack. I mean, if you have the creatures in play, that's something that'll make you do. But it's not like I have to pay creatures to get the effect at all. Like, at least with this like Helion thing, like if there are no creatures in play, this thing dies instantly. Like, it's just dead. So you need creatures to play this card. This one doesn't. You can have nothing in play and you still get the entire effect. Dem with the Yogg Daddies. We're going to donate the super chat to Dem. Yawgmoth. Apparently it's a physician. Where did he get his doctorate from? Where did he get his practice? Okay, we have a 4 mana 2/4 human cleric. Protection from humans. Protection from himself. Pay 1 life. Sacrifice another creature. Put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature, and you draw a card. And also you can proliferate for a double black, discard a card and proliferate. You have to sack everything? Let's look at Pox. Each player loses 1/3 of their life, then discards 1/3 of their cards, then sacrifices 1/3 of their creatures, then sacrifices 1/3 of the lands they control, rounded up each time. You don't actually, but like if you have no creatures in play, you don't sack anything. Like if it said like, in order to play this card, you have to sack a creature, I could buy that, yeah. You actually have nothing. You don't have to have anything in play. Brian says, did we do Klyox? Or it's Kylox. Nope. I don't even know who Kylox is. This is a 7 mana Viashino Artificer. Sort of looks like a dragon to me. It's a 4/4 Menace, Ward, 2, and Haste. And whenever it attacks, sacrifice any number of creatures. Then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the total power. You may cast any number of instants or sorcery spells from among the exiled cards without paying their mana cost. Holy goodness. This card could, I mean, you have enough creatures to sacrifice. A danger. But also, it's 7 mana, so you better have, like, some insane ability here. Emperor says, only cowards play Pox with no creatures in play. The cowards they are. Well, when I play against Pox-like decks, they usually don't have any creatures in play. That's the whole idea. They get me, they don't get themselves. Caused eel. Did we do? Yeah, we did Witch's Oven. I better take a super chat. Let's go get the greater good. Greater Good is a 4-mana enchantment. Oh, yeah, you just sack a creature, draw cards equal to the sack creature's power, then discard. Oh, you have to discard 3 cards. That's the downside. So sack good creatures. Sack big and buffy ones. They gotta be beefy. They gotta be, you know, they gotta be pushing some, they gotta be pumping iron. Okay, next up, we go with Dinglebag's Woebringer Demon. The Woebringer. It's a bringer. But it's not a bringer. It sounds like it's a bringer. Okay, it's a 5-mana 4/4 demon with flying. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks a creature. If the player can't, sacrifice Woebringer. So you sacrifice. See, this I can count, because if you don't sack that creature, we're sacking you, Woebringer. You're going next. So you make sure that or I shouldn't say you. Gotta make sure that I sacrifice something so it stays on the battlefield. Okay, next up we've got Sleazy with Anuwan the Ruin Sage. Uh-oh. Anamon? Okay, I'm gonna look up Ruin Sage. Ruin Sage. Anuwan Skywalker. We have a 5-mana 4/3 Vampire Shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player sacrifices a non-vampire creature. Yeah, a lot of you are having trouble with this one today. Like, you don't need, like, this one, I wouldn't say you really need to sacrifice anything. So let's say Anuwan is the only thing on the battlefield. Each player sacrifices a non-vampire creature. Like, you can't even sacrifice itself. So not a cost. Okay, we're gonna give it to Bryce then. Dread Fast Demon. Dread Fast. I got it. Or is it Dead Fast Demon? Is it a Fast Demon? Is it Dread Fast? Okay, this card doesn't exist. Sorry about that, Bryce. It don't exist. Oh, look, I looked up Dread Fast. It doesn't even know what it is. Oh, it's Dread Feast. You know what? I have that phonetic problem as well. Like, I heard it's I keep hearing someone say Dread Fast when really it was Dread Feast the entire time. Okay, it's a 7-mana 6/6 demon flying at the beginning of your end step. Sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Dread Feast Demon. Okay, so this at least has, you sack something, you get an effect. If you want the effect, you have to sack something, so I can count this. You have to sack something to get the copy of Dread Feast, to get more Dread Feast Demon out there. Next up, we have Cunning Linguist with Brass Talon Chimera. This is a 4-mana 2/2. That has first strike, counts as a Chimera apparently. Sacrifice Brass Talon Chimera, put a +2/+2 counter on target Chimera, and that Chimera gains first strike permanently. Oh, so we have our first perpetual card in Magic the Gathering. Perpetual, before Perpetual became an actual thing on Arena. Oh yeah, it's Chimera. It's Chimera. It's the Brass Talon Chimera. Whatever. David, does Ruthless Winnower count? 5 mana, 4/4, Elf Rogue. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks a non-elf creature. Nope. The fact that it, like, makes people sack things doesn't mean that you pay by... You have to pay. Look, you're going to a store, and you don't have money, but you got creatures. And you're looking to pay with your creatures. What's a card that does that? Today, the currency is somebody's soul. Somebody's looking for some blood around here. That's how you gotta look at this thing. So you're like, if I want to buy a Ruthless Winnower, am I paying with any creatures? The answer is not really. If I want the full ability of Ruthless Winnower, I don't pay with anything. I just have to cast it. Okay, Nathan, Turach's Gate. Or Turok's Gate, I should say. The gate of Turok. That's a menacing looking gate. Looks like a castle. Okay, we have a black 1 generic enchant. Land can only be played on target land you control. Sacrifice a Thrall to put 3 time counters on Turok's Gate. What? During your upkeep, remove a time counter. It's suspend? If there are no time counters on Turok's Gate, bury it. What? Well, maybe it's not suspend. Pay 0. Tap land, Turok's Gate enchants. All attacking creatures you control get +2/-1 until end of turn. Holy crap! What a convoluted mess. This card is just terrible, though. Wow. But I can tap this land for 0 mana to give all my creatures +2/-1. They tried to buff up like random 0/1 creatures or something. Okay, next up, let's go with... I don't think Stranger Candy got a card. Sloppity Bile Piper. Sounds like an uncard. I'm wrong. It's a 4 mana 3/3 demon. Jolly Gut Pipes. You have to also pay 2. Tap. Sacrifice a creature. The next creature spell you cast this turn has Cascade. We're sacking things for Cascade now around here. Tetra Timboman. I'm gonna give you this one. Fiend Artisan. Oh yeah. It's great with creatures that need to be create creatures, like Nest Invader, Drain's Tournament, and Titan of Industry, or some Intruder Alarm plus Mana Dorks. And also, it's not bad by itself in general. It's Golgari for a 1/1 Nightmare. It gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. This actually sees Legacy play. I thought, wow, this card is a bunch of junk, and then I like lost miserably to this card in Legacy. Pay X and a Golgari, tap, sack another creature, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library, activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. It's basically like sort of like Birthing Pod on a creature. Birthing Pod on a creature. Okay, what's next? Z-Man Vader, the Body Dropper. Body Dropper is a red-black 2/2. Whenever you sack another creature, put a counter on Body Dropper. And then we are going to sacrifice that creature for red and a black. Body Dropper gains Menace until end of turn. Next Super Chat coming from Emperor. One of these has got to be... One of these has got to work, Emperor. Oh, Greater Good. Okay, that one is not going to work because we just did that one. I think that was also a Super Chat, so they just got it in before you did. We'll give this one to Hanara with the Fireflux Squad. Fireflux Squad, 4 mana, 4/3 human soldier with haste. When it attacks, you may exile another target attacking creature you control. If you do, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is like... So you can sack, or you may... Hold on, you're actually exiling. Hold on, when it attacks, you may exile another attacking creature. Exile? It actually gets disqualified in a weird way. It feels like it sacrifices a creature, but it actually exiles. In some way, I'll count it, but technically, by technicality, it doesn't actually count. Does this work? Rakdos Charm. It's not a cost, but you do pay something for your creature. No, that we don't. Definitely does not count. Matt, Voracious Dragon. Not bad in Goblin decks with tokens. Flying a 4/4 for 5 mana with Devour 1. As it enters the battlefield, you can sack any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with that many +1/+1 counters on it. When Voracious Dragon enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number... Twice! To twice the number of goblins it devoured. Goblins give it strength! A lot of protein in those goblins. Tony! Demon Male something. Hauberk? Demon Male is a 4-mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +4/+2. Also, you have to sack a creature to equip it? What does that mean? What is Demon Male Hauberk? It's like there's some sort of organic chainmail on it. Or something of that sort. I don't know. I don't understand the flavor of this. But for some reason, I have to sacrifice creatures to equip this thing. Weodu! Priest of Yawgmoth. It is a black 1 generic 1/2 cleric. A tap to add an amount of black mana equal to target artifact's casting cost to your mana pool. Hold on, we add an amount. Tap to add an amount of black mana equal to target artifact's casting cost to your mana pool. This effect is played as an interrupt. Target artifact, which must belong to you, is discarded. This artifact cannot be one that is already on the way to the graveyard, and artifact creatures killed this way may not be regenerated. What the hell does this card do? That is a really complicated way of saying tap, sack an artifact, add an amount of black equal to the sacked artifact's mana value. Not necessarily sacking creatures. This is like somewhere in between being right and wrong. If you sack a creature, you get it. Not necessarily having to sack a creature, though. Okay, next up. Emperor. Save us, Emperor. With something. Lord of Tressorhorn. I'm just guessing you have a lot of... You have a sacrifice deck. Some days, like, the show just resonates with someone. They have a lot of super chats for it. We have a 4-mana 10/4. When it comes into play, you lose 2 life and sacrifice 2 creatures. Oh, God! So you will sacrifice your Lord of Tressorhorn. And then you pay a black, regenerate Lord of Tressorhorn. But that regeneration does not protect you from sacrificing your creatures. David Sampson. Plague Crafter. 3 mana 3/2 enters the battlefield. Each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. But at least you will, because if you don't, you're going to be sacrificing that Plague Crafter. Cunning Linguist with the Dilake? Dilrake? Not sure how to pronounce this card. 7 mana for a 6/6. Trample. It's a horror. You may sacrifice 3 black creatures instead of paying Dilrache's mana cost. I would imagine that was like okay back then. It's like one of the better free cards that they printed. Although I have to say, I never saw any play up to now. So maybe I'm just dead wrong. Okay, we got Someone to Foresee with Daemoth's Titan. Demogoth's Titan. This is a Golgari 11/10 demon. And when it attacks or blocks, you must sacrifice a creature. I guess they clear the way by sacrificing whatever's in front of it. Get out of my way! I need all the room around here. Okay, next super chat coming from Emperor, of course. The Ebon Praetor. Oh yeah, this thing. 6 mana for a 5/5. First strike trample at the beginning of your upkeep. Put a -2/-2 counter on Ebon Praetor. Sack a creature. Remove a -1/-1 counter from Ebon Praetor. If the sacrificed creature was a thrall, put a +1/+0 counter on Ebon Praetor. Place this ability only during your upkeep and only once each turn. Because if they let you do it like too many times, that might be broken. It's broken. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like really, really kidding. This ability is very, very, very underwhelming. Okay, Abzo, who me no card yet. Person turquoise waving speech with Mondrak. Mondrak, 4 mana, 4/4 Phyrexian Horror. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created instead. Also for double Phyrexian and 1 generic, sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures. Put an indestructible counter on your Mondrak. Does this flip or something? That's it? That's all we get? If one or more tokens will be created under your control, you make twice the... So it's like one of those... It's like one of those token doublers, but now it's a white creature. Aha! Finally, the white token player, the mono white tokens archetype found its commander. Okay, Marco wants another shot. Jan Jansen. The best sacrifice commander until Fallout. Oh, is that right? Sorry, Jan Jansen. You're getting bumped for someone else. So it's not bad being second best, though. Okay, we have a 3 mana 3/3 Gnome Artificer with haste. Tap, sack an artifact. Creature? Yeah, that's right. You create 2 treasure tokens. Also tap, sacrifice a non-creature artifact. Create 2 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens. So we can make both. So you can sack the treasure for tokens, the tokens for treasure, and back and forth. Doesn't this just go infinite if you can untap the Jansen over and over again? I think. Jan Jansen is the GOAT. Some people are very passionate about Jan Jansen. Neoform from Pedgeman. The number of combos with this is quite awesome and insane. Yes, between Allosaurus, we did Goblin Grenade. Allosaurus Rider. What else do we have here? And Seagate Stormcaller. That one I've never heard of. Blue-green sorcery has an additional cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1, plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on, then shuffle your library. And the deal with the Allosaurus Rider is like you can play it for just pitching a bunch of cards in your hand. It has a huge high converted mana cost. And you just throw it away to your Neoform. Throw it away like yesterday's garbage. Hogak. Does this make you sacrifice anything? Can't spend mana to cast this spell. Convoke and Delve. When you cast Hogak, you may cast from your graveyard as trample. It has nothing to do with sacrificing creatures. It's usually played in decks that do sacrifice creatures, but like it's actually completely irrelevant here. We got Darwin with Delrate. Oh, I think we did Delrate. Ooh, Ree's Void Mage Prodigy. Huge fan of this card. Blue, 2/2. A blue, 2/1 human wizard. Pay double blue. You do have to sacrifice a wizard. Sorry, some spells require the power of a human being. Counter target spell. Also, you can morph it. Be sneaky. I have a feeling if you play it, though, everyone will know exactly what you're up to. To be fair, your video title is too vague. No! MTG cards that will make you pay with your creatures. You gotta pay. You pay. You're not losing here. And I've also reiterated 1,000,000 times. How does, like, Hogak make you pay with your creatures? It doesn't. I think it's clear, in my opinion. Armor Thrall from Emperor. Okay, Armor Thrall is a 3 mana 1/3 tap sacrifice Armor Thrall. You gotta sacrifice itself. Put a +1/+2 counter on target creature. Oh god, this is a sad panda card. I spent 3 mana on a 1/3 that I have to sacrifice now. Just put a pathetic counter on another creature. This has got to be on like the top 50 worst creatures of all time. I think the confusion is that Convoke make creatures tap to pay for it. Oh, I got it. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right, Arcanus. Okay, then I'm just going to keep correcting everyone. Yeah, the Convoke does pay. Technically, it pays by tapping. No, I should put the word sacrifice. In my thumbnail, will say sacrifice. So everyone here on the show, you're confused as hell. And I understand now. But yeah, it's my show. I make the rules. Sorry for the super chatters though. But when you super chat and you screw up, which I cannot even say you screwed up that badly, I'm still donating to people who couldn't super chat in the first place. Like, Lados. Oh, we did Goblin Bombardment. Sorry about that. We have done that one. You gotta get a little bit more creative at this point. Yeah, creature, convoke and exile a creature not being valid seems like a title unclear. Yeah, but the problem is the last time we did this show, it's like, I said you had to pay with your life. So I don't want to say you pay with your creatures. But the whole point is that it sacrifices the creatures. Okay, side bell. Altar of... I think we did we do this one? Hold on. Altar of... Maybe we didn't. No, we did this one, yeah. This is the milling one. Toads calling the weak. We did that one too. Are we running? Okay, I'm going back to the super chats then. The Elvish Farmer. There's a green 1 generic 0-2 elf. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a sport counter on Elvish Farmer. Remove 3 sport counters from Elvish Farmer. Put a 1/1 green sapperling creature token into play. You can also sacrifice sapperling to gain 2 life. That is value. What are you farming? Sapperlings? Is that like a worm farm or something? Next up. Next change style to pay with your creature's life, so it makes sense. Okay, hold on. I can do pay with your creature's life. There, I'm doing it right now. It's a little late in the show. I like that. I like that title. That's a banger title. Nicholas, God Eternal Bontu. God Eternal B. Okay, we got a 5 mana 5/6 zombie god. It's got menace. Enters the battlefield. Sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. When God Eternal Bontu dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it on top of its owner's library from the top. So you sacrifice stuff, you get cards, you get some value. Next super chat, we got the final strike from Cunning Linguist. Is it like Fling? Is it like the last resort type of cards? We have a black 2 generic sorcery. Choose one of your creatures. Final strike deals to your opponent damage equal to that creature's offense. Then put the creature in your discard pile. Yeah, that's how it was worded back then. The Almond with the Altar of Bone. I don't think we did Altar of Bone. No, we did do Altar. That's my card. Yeah, I did Altar of Bone. We did Altar of Bone. We actually, I don't think we did Village Rites. Additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature. You also draw 2 cards. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, I don't remember. Next super chat from Darkstar Ashura. Healing Eruption. Okay, we got a 6 mana sorcery. Sacrifice all creatures you control, then create that many 4/4 red Helion creature tokens. Whatever a Helion, what the hell is a Helion? A worm? A sandworm? The desert storm worm? We make that many things. Oh, Rakdos Charm fits the title once again. Okay, what does Rakdos Charm say? Okay. Choose one. Exile target player's graveyard. Destroy target artifact. And each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. I don't think so. Pay with your creature. You're not sacrificing. You're not even killing any creatures here. Does Arkham Daxon counts as usually target your own creatures? Probably. Arkham Daxon. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got a blue 3 generic 2/2 human artificer. Tap. Target artifact creature's controller sacrifices it. That player may search their library for a non-creature artifact card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Absolutely, that counts. Okay, Emperor. What do you got for us? Eliminate the competition. This is a black 4 generic sorcery as an additional cost to cast. Eliminate the competition. Sacrifice X creatures to then destroy X creatures. Beautiful card. What else do we have here? Let's see. I'm just wondering, anyone from the freebie section not get a card? We did Goblin Bombardment. Sorry about that, Lados. I think at this point you gotta get really niche. Did we do... Oh, I don't think we did Bolus's Citadel. Yeah, we didn't do Bolus's Citadel. Okay, black, 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 3 generic. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, you gotta pay life equal to its converted mana cost. Sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Not necessarily creatures. You know, I don't think I can count this one. Don't know if I can count that one. But maybe you can redeem yourself. Awaken the Blood Avatar. Okay, it's got Double Strike, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Actually, it also doesn't count. You're still not sacrificing creatures here. Me being facetious. Insert card that deals damage to your creature. I guess that could count. All right, we'll go with Evan. All right, Evan. We're gonna finish the show off. Shadow Gang Brothers. Do they blow up artifacts for some spicy Jund control? They do look like brothers. It is a Jund 1 generic 3/3 Goblin Artificer. Pay 3 mana, you sack a creature. Each other player sacrifices a creature. Pay 3 mana, sack an artifact. Each other player sacrifices an artifact. And also pay 3 mana, sack an enchantment. Each other player sacrifices an enchantment. That's hard to use. It's like really, really, really hard to use. Did you get one Almond Arms Dealer? I don't know if we did Arms Dealer. Oh, we definitely did not. 3 mana for a 1/1. Pay 2, sack a goblin. It deals 4 damage to target creature. Don't know how to describe this. It's like sort of underwhelming. We paid 3 mana for a 1/1. We have to pay 2 mana on top of that. We have to sacrifice specifically a goblin to only deal 4 damage to a creature. They went down screaming. Okay, next super chat we got from Mario's got Tesa. Orzhov Scion. This is a 3 mana 2/3 human advisor. Sacrifice 3 white creatures to exile a singular target creature. And whenever another black creature you control dies, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Darkstar Ashura. Darkstar seems to like this show. Diamond Valley for the 1%ers. What, is this like a really niche card that like will rarely work? Oh, are we stuck? Okay, not anymore. It's a land. You also sack a creature to gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Is this like just a really niche situation? Maybe this is good. Holy crap. This is $800. This is wild. Is this actually good? Like, I feel like I've heard of this card. We've probably seen it on the show. $800 for a land that doesn't even add mana. Like, this is not Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. How much is it? Like, Tabernacle is like, what, $2,500? You could have a playset of Diamond Vale, or you could have one Tabernacle. What would you choose? You can sack anything that's about to die, free life. Is that the idea? I know it's reserved. There's a lot of reserve list cards that are worthless. You want to see the... Hold on. I think it's called the Goblin Pony or something like that. Something Pony. Dwarven Pony. Like, this is worthless. It's $1. And for good reason. I'm not saying, like, this is unplayable. But $800. It's a bit much for me. You messed up the Awaken the Blood Avatar suggestion. You didn't flip it and buzzed it. Oh, is that true? Okay, hold on. Awaken the Blood Avatar. Oh, okay. Shoot. is, I didn't realize it's a double-sided card. Oh, who suggested that? I hope they're still here. Hinara, please be still here. Okay, hold on. So the other side is Awake. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is Awaken the Blood Avatar. Okay, we're redeeming Hinara here. We're redeeming. I hope the second side is good. Okay, Awaken the Blood Avatar. We can pay, what, 8 mana for this thing? So it's 8 mana. It's a sorcery. As additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste, and whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. That absolutely qualifies. All right, Hinara did not, you know, some people would be like, I'm unsubscribing, I'm out of here. This Nikachu guy's an idiot. And I guarantee you, someone's gonna make a big deal out of that in the comment section. I can't stand you, Nikachu. You didn't even read the card properly. You just skipped them and buzzed them for no reason. At least you didn't super chat. I've done that a few times. I've eaten super chats when not reading it properly. Grind some other people's gears. All right, Cunning Linguist. We have the Ironheart Chimera. Oh, did we do this one? We did this one. Sorry about that, Cunning Linguist. You were there for it. Cunning Linguist, you've been around for a while. All right, we're gonna donate that one. Okay, I'm assuming this is Carrion Feeder. I don't think anyone said Carrion Feeder after all this. The black 1/1 zombie can't block. Sack a creature to put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay, Cunning Linguist immediately recognizes their mistake and super chats again with Natural Order. Oh, for Petchman. Yeah, actually, I don't think anyone named Natural Order this whole show. This is like one of those super obvious ones that people are too scared to mention because they're like, probably someone mentioned it already. There's additional cost to cast Natural Order, sack a green creature, search your library for a green creature card, put it onto the battlefield. And these days, it's Atraxa. You're usually looking for Atraxa. And with that, those are all the creatures that you can find or do by sacrificing them. There's no sacrifice too great for a chance at screwing over your opponents. And if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Anyone who supports on Patreon, if you're a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show or help other people be part of the show. And we got to thank the coffee crew for being here this morning. Got to thank Christopher B, Martino, Toads, B Jackstraw. We've got Evan, Matt, Mario, David, Sampson. I see Alan Baird, Cunning Linguist. We've got Shiny, Sate Bell, Turiat, Matt. Who else do we have here? Dark Star, Ashura. Steve Cooper, Hinara. We got David, Metallic, Dranzer, Protopon. Is that like the prototype of a pawn before it was able to move 2 squares in one shot? Because you guys are the coffee crew. You're all the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.